Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And this is the Game Forum.
This is episode 4 of the Extended Forum.
We're going to go ahead and start it off with what we've been playing. I guess we'll just start off with something we've both been playing, which is Modern Warfare, the new Call of Duty. You've played mostly the multiplayer, right?
Yeah, I haven't started on any of the single player yet. Mainly just been focusing on the multiplayer to start with.
Yeah.
So far, I got nothing but good stuff to say about it.
Yeah, it's really good.
A lot of people have been complaining about the maps. I do think the maps are a bit more complex than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're bad. I think they're just a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not quite as, straightforward. There's a lot more entries and exits, a lot more places to hide, places to be ambushed from.
Yeah.
Pretty much no matter where you're at, you never really feel safe.
It seems like they made them more tactical, but it makes sense because now they have night vision mode, realism mode, cyber attack, search and destroy. They've added a lot more modes that are way more tactical, and you have to take your time. So they at least made the maps kind of play off of that.
Yes,
but then for
agree.
Team deathmatch, it feels kind of weird. You just want fast, get through the most Call of Duty maps are 3 tunnels,
3 lanes.
Yeah, 3 lanes, and then but these are a little more complex than that. But I mean, I think they work fine. But I also played the crap out of Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
so this is as close to Rainbow Six Siege as I'd want it to get.
Yeah, they also stole the operator system for Rainbow Six Siege. They even call it operators now.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, Call of Duty is always going to get some crap, but it's Activision, and it's Activision Blizzard, and so Blizzard's already, going through the pooper. But at least Call of Duty's good, and I mean, there's nothing. What else does Activision have? Because they lost Bungie, so they lost Destiny, and so I can't really think of. I'm sure
they still have a lot of other really big properties and stuff too.
Yeah. It's just Call of Duty is kicking some butt. But I finished the single player. It is awesome. It's definitely one of my favorite Call of Duty campaigns ever. I've heard it online, and I even agree with it. It really seems like Naughty Dog kind of lent their talents to work on the campaign. It's really good. I think it would have been my game of the year. I even told you, I was like, yeah, this is definitely my game of the year. But the next game that I'm going to talk about, at least because you're not interested in it, is Death Stranding. That might be my game of the year. It might be my favorite game ever, but I'm not sure yet. I'm only 7 hours into the game. I love how it doesn't matter if this game is good or bad. Everyone is talking about this game.
This is true. They put a lot of hype and marketing into this game.
It is if you somehow did not know who Hideo Kojima was, now you do. But I feel like everyone knew who he was just by word of mouth. But maybe not. I've played all of his games up until this one. I guess not the early ones, but it's just this dude's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but I think this is really cool. The reveal trailer for Death Stranding that happened in 2016 or 20. Yeah, I think 2016. At the very end, when the title for Death Stranding was revealed, there was these strands or lines that fell down, and when they fell down, they hit 8. There was 8 lines, and they hit 11 letters. It released on November 11th of 2019.
Did they do that intentionally?
Knowing Kojima, yes, he had the release date for this game 3 years before it was released. How? What and how? But see, that's something I've been playing. I've been playing that a lot. I'll probably take a break when Jedi Fallen Order comes out. Yeah, are you getting that day one?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be getting that one day one. I'm pretty excited about this one. I was kind of curious going into it, especially being another EA Star Wars game. They have kind of turned Battlefront around, I've been hearing nothing but good
Yeah.
things coming out of this one.
They've canceled more Star Wars games than they've released.
I know. I'm sad.
Oh man.
But I would much rather have good games than just a whole bunch of bad games. But still, I mean, I don't think the EA is really properly utilizing their franchise title.
No, and I think they will moving forward because like a game that I had pre-ordered. So another game that I played / regret is Need for Speed. I love racing games, and I really like the last two Need for Speeds. I mean, they're okay. So I had like foolishly pre-ordered Need for Speed Heat, new one. And I was like, I'll play it, fine, whatever. And then EA Access had a where you can play the trial of it like 3 days early, up to 10 hours. I was like, okay, sure, I'll go ahead and play it, and it sucked.
Oh, really?
It is like the graphics are worse than the one that came out in 2015. The story is a joke. It's like it's to the point to where it's like it's not even funny. It's just awkward and cringy, and so I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. And I spent money on this game. I don't know why I would do that. And I actually got it refunded somehow. PlayStation refunded the game.
Really?
I guess, yeah. But it was like normally they don't do that. And when they asked why, I was like, oh, the game wasn't advertised as promised. It sucks. I literally said that. And they're like, okay, well, that meets the qualifications. And so I got the refund.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I immediately, because I got the EA Access price, which was $53. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, crap, I only got $53. I was like, oh, yeah, Star Wars. It's on EA Access. So I immediately pre-ordered that. So I'll be playing that. But yeah, Need for Speed was just, I was so excited for that game, and then I was so let down. Oh my god, it was so bad. And it's getting like good scores. I'm like, what?
I don't know. I haven't played a lot of the Need for Speed games.
Yeah.
I like a lot of racing games, but I'm more into like the like flat out kind of goofy, wacky, wreck everything style racing games.
It's more arcadey than simulation, but it still has like all the crazy car customization. No loot boxes though. It's another EA game that released with no loot boxes. It does have microtransactions, but they're the time saver ones like Ubisoft has, that's fine. But no, like, because like the previous Need for Speed Payback literally had card packs like in Battlefront 2, but because there was no competitive modes, it didn't get a lot of crap.
No, was it? I played a little bit of Crossout this last week for their Halloween event. They added
one.
Yeah, they always have Halloween events and stuff. Cool. I really liked what they've done the last couple of years, a little bit better. Normally they have a mode where essentially some of the top picks of what people have submitted for vehicles get thrown into like a battle royale style thing. Well, not a battle royale, but essentially like an arena where every time you spawn in as a different vehicle that someone has created.
Yeah.
So it could be a TIE fighter or, the A-Team van, or one of them was like SpongeBob riding on a crab with flamethrowers. Just whatever someone has created, which has always been really fun. But this time around, they didn't do that. They just had another standard kind of deathmatch mode where you get tokens to craft Halloween items, which I like they added in Halloween items, but I kind of miss the fun and crazy adventure style thing of that game mode, so I really wish they brought that back.
Yeah.
So a little disappointed in that, but overall still pretty fun. They're still adding in new stuff pretty much all the time. They did add in another new mode. Essentially now they're going to have contests, like creator contests. So they'll say like, okay, who can make the best jet fighter? And then everybody makes a jet fighter and enters it into that contest, and everyone votes on it. And then it'll pick like the top voted craft that everyone liked the most, and then they'll give out prizes and stuff. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Okay. So I guess we're going to move on. We got some news that we can talk about. And we got some news that is old because we've kind of took a little break for like, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, well, I went on vacation. We were going to try and do a little filming earlier.
It just fell apart.
Yeah, things just kind of didn't line up, and life kind of got in the way.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yeah.
With a vengeance.
Yeah, we're not dead. Unless we die after this, and then, I mean, I guess we got a future proof. But so we do have some news, just some major talking points that's kind of happened. So Sony, or PlayStation specifically, had a lot of movement with their personnel and kind of moving stuff around. So Sean Layden had left. I don't know, it's probably like 3 or 4 weeks now. He was a head of Sony First Wide Studios, which are like our worldwide studios, which are like all the first party stuff. So he's gone, and then Shuhei Yoshida, who was the president, I believe he was the president of like all of Sony, or at least somewhere around there. He's stepping down to focus on indies. Herman Holst, I believe that's his last name. He was from Guerrilla Games. He's moving up to Shuhei Yoshida's position, which is crazy. What is awesome, because they got a game developer focusing on what games release on PlayStation.
Yes.
Like that's a good move. But it sucks because like Shuhei Yoshida is like so well known. But I mean, if he's still focusing on indies, then that means like he was already doing a good job.
Yeah.
So now he's going to curate indies. So maybe there won't be like trashy games that just show up on PSN, which would be awesome.
I mean, PlayStation's always been known for a long time for a lot of their cooperation with indie games.
Yeah.
So it'd be really interesting to see what they end up doing with that.
Yeah. And speaking of indie games, Gio Corsi, he really pioneered indie games. He was like the huge, like the Vita guy. Mm-hmm. Like even after the Vita was technically dead, he kept like wanting stuff to release on it. And he's actually left PlayStation as well. The rumor is that he's actually going to Naughty Dog, which that's still technically PlayStation. But a little like question, I guess, for the listeners or for you, Lindsay, is like, do you think that are they changing strategies, or do you think that they're just like prepping to like go into next gen?
I think they're probably more prepping to go into next gen.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, I know Shuhei Yoshida, I mean, he's getting old. He's probably getting closer to retirement. So
yeah.
He might be wanting something a little less stressful, especially getting ready to have to go through a whole lot of stress with the launch of another major console.
Yeah.
So I could see him wanting to step down, maybe not ready to retire just yet, but want to do something a little more low-key and maybe something he really enjoys, and maybe he likes a lot of indie-focused stuff. So, I mean, I completely get it. I understand.
Yeah. With the launch of PS4 and Xbox, what was it? Xbox kind of fumbled that launch. Mm-hmm. And so Sony going into this was like, ooh, we can have fun.
Yeah.
But now I feel like the playing fields are much more closer. Because, Xbox has 12 studios that they own now. And if half of those are there on launch day or launch month, that's already going to more than double what Sony has exclusively. 'Cause I don't even think they're going to have anything exclusive on launch on PS5, except for maybe Blupoint's remake, which we'll actually talk about a little later in the show.
Well, I'm definitely interested to see what Xbox does. Behind the scenes, I think there's probably been a lot more turbulence at Xbox. You've seen Microsoft close a lot of these studios they have acquired. You've seen a lot of these developers, say they're going to make a game and then that game be suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
So I think, even though Sony might focus on fewer games, it seems like they have a little bit better of a follow-through on their development cycle.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think in the same year, Sony released God of War, and Spider-Man is the same year that Microsoft canceled Scalebound and released Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
And Crackdown 3 was broken, which sucks because Crackdown 1 and 2 were really good. And so it sucked that that was just I don't know if it was like mismanaged or it was just fumbled from launch. But so as we're recording this next week, I think on the 13th, is that when Disney Plus?
Yeah, Disney Plus comes out on the 12th.
Okay.
One of their flagship titles on this is going to be the first Star Wars TV series called The Mandalorian. One thing I hate about this is they're not going to release it in all its episodes. They're going to piece it out week by week. So they're not going to copy Netflix. So you'll have to keep tuning in every week to get the whole story.
Yeah. Aren't they doing 2 episodes?
I don't know if they're doing 2 episodes at first, or they might release a couple episodes, being that the platform just launched and there's going to be a lot of hype around it.
Yeah.
But Disney has said that they're going to take it in a different direction, probably to pump up viewership, because if you put out a series everyone loves and they watch it, they might not come back for a couple weeks, couple months.
Yeah.
But if you piece that series out long enough to tie into another series they want to watch, it's probably going to keep more steady viewership over the long run.
Yeah.
Which is probably what their plan is.
It's definitely going off of Game of Thrones, because HBO, I don't think they came out and said this, and I actually don't know how they got this information, but like after season 8 of Game of Thrones, basically after Game of Thrones ended, they lost like 25% of their subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was like, oh man, so Disney's definitely being smart. And it's Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and everything else. So it's like there's something there worth paying for, and then it's $6-7. Like I think that's the cheapest subscription.
They're also doing a bundle package. I'm probably going to get the bundle package with Hulu.
Yeah,
I think
and
you
it
get
has ESPN,
Hulu, Disney Plus. I think it has something else with it, and I think it's like $15 a month. So that's probably what I'm going to do.
I think it might be like $12 or $13. You're basically paying for 2 and getting 1 for free.
Yes,
and like ESPN is ESPN Plus, which you get like live sports. Which, I mean, I guess for me and you isn't really that appealing, but that's still like...
For a lot of people, that's going to be very appealing.
Yeah, you get sports, Disney, and then Hulu. I mean, Hulu's been doing pretty good.
Yes.
Hulu's got a lot of like Fox shows, but Fox is owned by Disney, right?
So it's only the movie franchises from Fox. The TV series and stuff are separate. That's going to stay 20th Century Fox. But the deal with Disney is they got all the movie rights that Fox had, but they were not allowed to buy their essentially like network services.
I wonder who championed tying those in the same package. I mean, I guess they both benefit from it financially.
Well, Disney was mainly after the rights for like the Punisher, Daredevil, Fantastic Four. There's X-Men. There's a lot of those franchises that were tied up in the Fox movie rights, and that's the main thing Disney was after. Because especially after Infinity War, Disney had used up a lot of the characters and main characters that people come to know, and they're kind of looking to expand it. So I think one of the main reasons they bought Fox was to get those licenses so they could start with some new, fresh stuff. And you'll probably see that not in this next phase of Marvel properties, but going forward after that, I'm sure we're going to see the Fantastic Four. There's been a lot of rumors on, whether Galactus will be one of the new big bads coming out, because they'll need to take it to another, level to start bringing in some stuff.
Yeah. So they just announced Phase 4, right? That's what we're going into?
Yeah, I think this is Phase 5.
Yeah,
I think Phase 4 was ended with Endgame.
Okay.
And I think Phase 5 is what we're getting into.
So Phase 6 is
Phase 6 is what we'll start seeing some of the Fox properties come in.
Okay.
But I guess getting back to The Mandalorian for just a second, one thing I've heard that I'm really interested in is this is going to take place in a time period we haven't really explored before. So this is supposed to take place 5 years after Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, where they blow up the second Death Star and the Empire starts falling apart. But it's supposed to be 25 years before the events of Episode 7. So we're going to be in this kind of like area where the New Republic has started to form again. They're not the Rebel Alliance. The Empire is kind of starting to fall apart, but there's still remnants of the Empire everywhere. So almost kind of like reversed, where like the Rebellion's the new superpower, and the Empire's kind of like in the state of the Rebellion in kind of the outer rim of the galaxy. So it's got some really interesting stuff they could explore, and they could really see and visit a lot of areas and find a lot of characters and a lot of different interesting points, and kind of help tie the old series together with the new series.
That's cool, because like Jedi Fallen Order, that takes place after episode 3, right? Yeah, because
it's supposed to be after Order 66.
Yeah, that's cool that they got two things coming out in the same week that are delving in the middle of both trilogies.
Yes,
or so two separate trilogies.
Oh, I definitely feel like they're trying to weave the tapestry together a little closer.
That would be cool. Get it all connected,
especially with episode 9 coming out at the end of the year. I'm kind of wondering, now that they have a TV show, if they might drop some hints or maybe lay some groundwork to help fill in the gaps to tie, the original trilogy together with the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, what if they're messing with this and like the Rise of Skywalker? That's the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
What if the end of the movie, it like fast forward like 15, 20 years and Rey's pregnant and she's having a kid, and so it's like oh no, Skywalkers are still going. We're gonna make more money.
Oh yes, they're definitely gonna make more money. I do think that they're probably, after this, they want to get away from the Skywalker timeline.
Yeah.
I still keep thinking they're gonna go and do like an Old Republic movie franchise. That was the rumors going around with the Game of Thrones directors that they were going to be doing the Old Republic, and after that finale of Game of Thrones bombed, it seems like they've been taken out of the running. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to be doing that story, because then you could have huge wars between an army of Sith and an army of Jedi, and you can bring in brand new actors, and no one, very few people have any expectations out of this, so they can have a lot more freedom to do what they want with it.
Yeah. Another little piece of news that I didn't really add into this. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but now thinking about it kind of ties in with everything. EA, during a press conference, or not a press conference, a fiscal year meeting call, shareholder thing, whatever, they said that they were going to work on remasters. And so a lot of speculation was coming out and stuff, and it was like, what if they remastered KOTOR, 1 and 2? Mm-hmm. Or like, also Dead Space, the Mass Effect trilogy. But there's one more Star Wars game coming out. I think it won't be till after 2022, but there is one more Star Wars game. I'm assuming it's Battlefront 3. Because DICE isn't releasing a Battlefield next year. So I guess 2021. I don't know. Maybe 2021 will be Battlefield. And they kind of like reboot it. And then 2022, they release Battlefront 3. And it's like fully fleshed out. It's super awesome.
I swear to God, if they do not do ground-to-space combat in this game, considering it is Battlefront 3 again, and the last Battlefront 3 supposedly had, if you ever watched the video, you can look it up on YouTube of the original one by Free Radical from way back in the day. You can show like a battle going on Coruscant, like a ground planet, getting in a ship, flying up into space, seamlessly transitioning into space, and then landing on a Star Destroyer and fighting in there. I'm like, I want that so bad. I've waited so long. We have the technology. We need to do this.
I mean, I think we have the technology now, but if it's coming out after 2022, that's PS5 and Xbox Scarlet or whatever that's going to be called. So that could actually, how not? And why not?
No, I would love to see that. I'm like, I don't care how the last couple Battlefront games have done. I enjoyed them. They were okay. They definitely had some issues.
The NPDs for October, Battlefront 2 was in the top 20.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was on sale, but I can't remember. Is that money or copies? I don't remember. I don't know if you know.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the stats on it.
I think it might be. If it's copies, then that's kind of cheating, because if it went on sale. So I think it went on sale for like $8. So,
well, they've fixed a lot of stuff in Battlefront 2.
Yeah. And
they've continued to add in new content, new game modes. I re-downloaded it and played it about a month ago, and it's a lot of fun. They definitely retooled the pay-to-win mechanic and fixed a lot of that.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. A comment I made earlier about Blupoint Games, they're supposed to be working on a remake / remaster. The rumor is either a Metal Gear Solid remake remaster or a Demon Souls remake remaster, which is the first of the Souls game. That one's like ridiculously hard. They had a boss fight. I can't remember. Actually, I don't remember which. It might have been Dark Souls 1. Never mind. So they, on Halloween, they released a tweet that was the most cryptic thing of just pure awesome. So I have it. So just bear with me as I try to read this. So calm the spooky night, a symphony of rumors, which a symphony of the night with Castlevania. Not one, but two. So maybe they're hinting at 2 games, which would be awesome. Return from Shadow, which they did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, so maybe that's insinuating that they're going to return to it, maybe do a sequel. A Resistance, which Resistance Trilogy, Resistance 4, that would be awesome. To Dart Home. Dart was the main character in The Legend of the Dragoon, and then what else was there? Black Monsters, Escape Twisted Hills, Twisted Metal Black, and then to Wander Lands. Wander was from Shadow of the Colossus. Siphon Souls, which Siphon Filter, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Filter your candy collections, which could be Siphon Filter. Soft from Solid, Metal Gear Solid, and be eco-friendly, which, Team Eco. Eco was the game prequel to Shadow of the Colossus, I believe, and then have a metal Halloween, which more twisted metal, it seems. It's a really cool tweet. Really makes you wonder what they're actually working on. We're not really sure.
Well, there's another little bit of news. Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed to May 29th of 2020.
Which I'm okay with.
I'm perfectly fine with this. The game looks amazing. The first one was probably one of the best single-player games ever. I definitely want them to get this right, rather than rush it out the door and have it be a broken mess.
Yeah.
So if they need a little bit more time, by all means, definitely take the time.
Yeah, and like Last of Us, the first one, I think it was supposed to come out in November 2012, and then it got delayed to January or February of 2013, and then they delayed it again to June. So it went through a bunch of delays, and it was worth it.
Yes.
It delivered. It was awesome. So they totally should take their time.
Watch Dogs Legion has also been delayed.
Yeah.
Looks like it might be delayed till next year, but we don't really have a solid date on that yet.
Yeah. They with the performance of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which sold enough. It was number 2 in the October sales chart, and then they were like, it did really bad. We're gonna learn from this, and so we're gonna push our games back. We're gonna make sure they're a quality game. Which
I think one more thing they also have to learn is do not put out they're not nearly as big as like Call of Duty or Battlefront or Battlefield. They need to wait. They had it coming out within like a couple weeks of the new Call of Duty that everyone was hyped for.
Yeah.
So when you got to pick between 2 different shooters, most people are going to pick Call of Duty, and that's really going to hurt their sales, even if it was the most epically amazing game ever.
Yeah.
I think that's just very, very bad slotting of when they put that launch window in.
Yeah. It was definitely poor. And like another game that came out this year from Ubisoft that was a military shooter was The Division 2.
Yeah.
And that did well. And so, 6 months later, they released another one, and it's only 2 years after Wildlands.
Yeah.
For a very tactical military shooter, I think you need a little more than 2 years to release something, because it felt similar, but what they changed was way too different. Like they made it to where there was loot drops and rarity levels and a gear score.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn it to a games of service, and it just didn't work. Which it makes sense because not everything has to be a serviceable game.
Well, see, another thing too, when they put out the Division 2, they didn't really have any huge competition in the shooter market coming out right next to them either.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who really get into Call of Duty, might be kind of burning out around that. They've been playing it for about 6 months or so, and then they're like, okay, this is coming out, I'm gonna try it. I like the first one, or want to try this. So it gives them a lot more open market and less competition.
Yeah. Ubisoft is always gonna have a soft spot in my heart. I know you really
Yeah,
Ubisoft's
I'm
been
a big
kicking some butt.
Ubisoft fan.
With Rainbow Six Siege to, I mean, Wildlands, they did a lot. For Honor, you really like that game.
For Honor's getting another new character now.
I keep seeing, because I follow Ubisoft on YouTube, and I keep seeing these videos, and like every month they're doing something new, or something different at least.
Well, like I said, I got in and played a good bit of their Halloween event before I went on vacation. I liked the style of it. It was fun. I really wish they brought back the skeletons and stuff, though. Like they had it pretty well locked on to like just like one or a couple maps, and they just kind of threw some pumpkins and some like green fire on it. The last time was like all the NPCs and a lot of the game modes were replaced with skeletons, and it just felt. I guess it was more or less the same game mode last year. This year they made like a specific game mode, which was cool, but I guess the aesthetics of it weren't quite as in depth as they were last year. So a little give and take.
Yeah. Come to think of it, Ubisoft has said that they were releasing 5 games within the 2020 fiscal year, which we knew that 3 of them were Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs 3. People have speculated that the 4th was the Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which it's pretty much all but confirmed. Like, they had footage leak and everything. And everyone was like, well, what was the 5th one? So a lot of people are thinking like a Splinter Cell reboot or remake. But what if it's For Honor 2? Like, they could totally release the For Honor 2 for like on launch for PS5 and have it cross-play, cross-buy.
I would definitely buy it. What I would much rather see, and I would love to see more games do this, like what Rainbow Six Siege has done and what they're doing with For Honor. Instead of coming out with For Honor 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, just continuously patch it, update it, because they did a big graphical overhaul of For Honor about a year ago, and it made a big difference. They have a ton of different playable characters now. They keep adding in levels, adding in new content. This is what Destiny promised us with, Destiny 1. And then Activision was like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to put out Destiny 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 until it stops making money.
Bungie signed a contract with them to have Destiny be a game that has a 10-year plan. They never said that there couldn't be sequels within 10 years. So Activision was like, hey, we're going to do that. We're going to charge $60.
Yep.
And then we're going to do 2 DLC expansion packs. We're going to charge those, $15 a piece, or you can buy the season pass. I mean, it's smart for a business perspective, but it was just kind of like...
Well, see, with, this strategy is obviously working for Ubisoft.
Yes.
You look at Rainbow Six Siege, they have their yearly operator packs. Same thing with For Honor. They had a big expansion with the Marching Fire for Honor. Added in a whole bunch of new game modes and stuff like that. So, I mean, if it's a game that I really like and, I bought, 3-4 years ago and they put out some new good content, I'm willing to give them some extra money for continuing to support it and working on it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of other people are too. So I'd really like to see this kind of mentality take off and go further with a lot of other games out there.
Yeah. Like Ubisoft's single-player game that came out last year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, had 2 expansions as DLC, but they had each expansion split into 3 episodes, and they had those episodes come out 6 weeks apart from each other, or it might have been 3 weeks. I think it equaled up to like 9 months of content, of quality content after the launch of the game. And in between, so every 3rd week it was the paid expansion, and then every 6th week was free content. And they're still releasing free content. And then they added, which was unbelievable, but you can there was a create a quest. Like, you can make your own quest.
Mm-hmm.
You can have like voice acting. You go online. You have to go on computer, but you get to design your quest, and you can have like quest lines. You can have a storyline, and it's all free. And I'm like, that is awesome. And that was Ubisoft. I mean, obviously they allowed it, but that's still pretty cool that they actually did that.
That's very cool. And, got to look at a thing, too, as far as user-created content goes. That is stuff they don't have to spend money and development hours doing.
Yeah.
And that adds nearly an infinite amount of new content to the game for people to play.
Yeah. And if it's a good game from the get-go, then that's just only going to do good things for the company. Just some little wrap-up news, kind of random, just to throw in there. Kojima Productions, which is the development studio that made Death Stranding, founded by Hideo Kojima. He just came out and was like, yeah, I want to make movies too, which he loves movies, and so the fact that he's wanting to make movies is not surprising. But he literally said, if you can do one thing well, you can do everything well. That was his quote, and I was like, that's bold, but
I don't know how much I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, my mechanic might be great at fixing my car, but I don't think he's going to decorate a cake very well.
But if he's Hideo Kojima, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's going to take more than just him to make a movie, but he might have been saying that in the sense of like, if he can come up with a game, he can come up with a movie, so maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. Hideo Kojima he's a celebrity.
Yeah,
he's a game developer, but he is a celebrity, at least in Japan. But I mean, even in the United States, he's viewed as a celebrity. I mean, he's doing a world tour about his game.
Yeah,
no one's done that. No one's. There's been press releases where they talk about a game, but no one's actually come out and be like, "Hey, this is something I made." Another little tidbit of news: Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 was announced at BlizzCon, and while BlizzCon was happening, there was like riots outside, and then there's even people chanting "Free Hong Kong" at the conference and stuff, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then they were like, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2." And it was like,
never mind. We can kill all those people. It's fine. We got a new video game.
It was like, what were we mad about? And I'm like, what? It's like this. Oh my God! I bet BlizzCon is so happy. Our Blizzard is so happy right now.
Yeah.
And like we lucked out.
Now, my question is were they planning on doing this, or did they go ahead and throw something together to get people hyped up as a distraction?
They threw it together because when a journalist was asking them about the release date for these games, for Diablo 4 is rumored to be coming out next year, but for Overwatch 2, they were like, we have no idea. So I honestly don't even think that game is halfway done being worked on.
Yeah, it just seems to me like because of all the heat they were taking over the, was it banning or finding that one guy?
Yeah.
And everything, they were just like, okay, we got to throw something big together to get people off our back.
Yeah, and the whole Blizzard thing is kind of a mess. Maybe we'll make an episode on it. We'll have to do a lot of research because we don't want to look like idiots when it comes to that. But like, more information has come out that like Blizzard actually doesn't publish their games in China. It's NetEase, and NetEase is a huge company, and so for a company's sake, when you have a big company in another country releasing your game, you're kind of obligated to play nice. But when it comes to like freedom of speech,
I think that is like a requirement of doing business with China.
Yeah,
because I know like under a lot of the deals in China, you as an American company could not actually like Apple couldn't go to China and build and manufacture and release iPhones. They have to partner with a Chinese subsidiary. So I'm pretty sure that is like a national law.
Okay. So see, it's like there's that, and then what was it? There's a signed contract that the Hearthstone players went into for the tournament. There was like exactly what he did, not the context of what he did, but the fact that he went off to like promote something is like forbidden. Like they don't allow it. So like it didn't matter what he would have said. If he went off, they were gonna have to unfortunately do that. It's just because of what he said. It was like, oh, that's the right thing is to not do anything to him, but they're contractually obligated to take care of it that way. So it was just, it's a mess. But it's like they kind of put themselves in that, and they didn't think. I'm sure they were not expecting this to actually happen.
No. I guess lastly, we have a couple good deals just to let everybody know about.
Yeah.
Best Buy is doing a Black Friday sale on the Xbox One S, all digital edition. with 3 games for $150.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And, the all digital edition does not come with a disc tray, but I mean, I don't think you really need to have a disc tray. Like, I mean, unless you want to play like Blu-ray movies or anything like that. But and the 3 games it comes with, I think you can swap them out for like there's like Forza Horizon 3, Fortnite, Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, maybe I think Gears of War, like the complete edition or ultimate edition.
So you actually get to pick the games too.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But like 2 of them are technically free to play, and most of them are on Game Pass. So it's like that's why they're included, because Microsoft is
They don't really
already
have to pay out a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
It's good advertising though.
Yeah.
It's still a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, $150 for, and like with them doing the Project xCloud thing, it's, theoretically you should be able to buy an Xbox One S possibly for $150, and you can stream next gen games on that console when it gets released. So like games that come out on Project Scarlet or whatever that's going to be called.
Well, it's really going to depend on your internet connection, though.
Yeah. That's going to be a huge thing, and with Google Stadia coming out next week, later this week, that we'll know. If that's like, oh yeah, it actually works, or if it doesn't work, then we'll really know. Another deal on Sony's side, I think Best Buy's doing this, Target's doing this. There's a couple other places that are doing this. They're selling PS4s with God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, and Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, which comes with all the DLC, all the extra stuff. They're going to be selling that for $200, which, I mean, that's a good deal. And if you don't have a PlayStation 4, there's plenty of games that are being added. And right now, at least for the time of recording, the PS Now has, I think, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like 700 something games plus.
Yeah. And they cut the price down to $10 a month, so it's competing with Game Pass. They just added the new, it's kind of new, the Shadow of War, Lord of the Rings game, Persona 5, and one other game. I can't remember. So they're adding pretty big titles.
Yeah, a lot of new, bigger titles to it as well, instead of just the older like PlayStation 2 and 3 games.
Yeah. Unfortunately, any new titles that are like technically considered new, they're only doing them for 3 months just to kind of like get people to cycle in and stuff. I'm expecting with the launch of PS5 that they'll rebrand PS Now, or at least relaunch it and have it be more compatible to comparable to Game Pass, because Game Pass is killing it. Like right now, you can get the Game Pass Ultimate, which is Xbox Live, Game Pass for PC and console, for $1.
Yeah,
like they're still doing that. Like that's crazy. But I guess that's it. That's all we've got so far.
I appreciate everybody sticking with us and staying with us to the end this week.
Yeah, I think this was a long episode.
It feels that way.
Yeah, that was all right. It was crazy.
I guess we will catch you next time.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.